Morning. Okay, our first Qigong camp. I've always taught Qigong, but it's never been part of a separate identity. We'll be spending most of the time doing Qigong. So, especially some people who have not done this before might find it a little difficult. Not so much the movement, but simply the wear and tear on your body. But that's why I'm doing this, because I always like to tell the story of when I first began. I wasn't even, I'm going to tell you something about it. I was not told anything about it. I was just, because my teacher couldn't even speak English, he just said, stand like this. So I said, oh, okay. And then he left the room. And about 10 minutes later, I was literally standing in this posture, literally like this. And then he came back in the room and I thought to myself, thank God for that. And he looked at me and walked out. And being an obedient servant, I wasn't going to look around and see he wasn't there and then go like this. And then he comes back and I go like this, like many of my students do. You should not say, oh, this hurts. Oh, thank God. You must just, I'll talk about all that in a minute anyway. It's the pain that you must get through. Anyway, he came back after about 20 minutes and I was literally a physical wreck, and there was a pool of water on the floor from dripping fingers. And fingers and hands do not perspire from thermoregulatory means. They perspire from internal stuff, like emotional stuff. And so then I thought, thank God for that, and he walked out. And he came back after half an hour with a bowl of rice and sat in the corner eating the rice as I was in absolute and total agony. And then finally he came up and he went like this to each finger. And in what little English he knew, he said, okay. So I thought, thank God he's going to stop me now. And he said, he motioned to me physically, do like this. So I thought, what? And then he walked out of the room again. So then he came back again. That was 45 minutes. Okay, this was I'd never done anything like this in my life. I'd done boxing, I'd done wrestling, I'd done a little bit of Kung Fu, but a little bit of Tai Chi that I didn't even know was Tai Chi back then, because Tai Chi was so new. I'd never done anything. It was my first introduction. And then finally he came back and said, finish. And as I started to stand up, I literally fell on the floor. And I tried to walk out of his house, which had a long stairwell down, and I could not get down the stairs. I had to hold onto the banister like this. My legs wouldn't work. And I had to go back in the house and call a taxi to take me home. And that was my introduction to Qigong. I'm not going to be that severe today. You might think it is, but it won't be as severe as my initial introduction to Qigong. There's a huge amount of energy stored in your backbone. And if we can access that energy, we can do all sorts of things. The energy, we do Qigong, it's a physical thing. It's a purely physical thing. There's nothing spiritual, it's nothing religious. It's a purely physical thing, as is Tai Chi, as is Bagua. They're all physical means of getting to an energy state. That's all it is. It's allowing us to access the energy that your body has. And if you can access the energy that your body has, you can do all kinds of things, like heal yourself. You can heal other people at a more advanced stage. That's the thing that we try to rise to eventually. And you can do it for self-defense, for Tai Chi, our version of Tai Chi, which is self-defense. You can also use it to affect your subconscious brain so that you can literally change the circumstances in which you find yourself if you don't like them. It might take a while, but it will certainly change over a period of time once you can access what you have naturally. Accessing it, however, is a little difficult. And this is why the ancients placed so much importance upon the backbone. Every Qigong we do works upon the spine. And when I was in China at one time, there was the very famous, well, famous but obscure treatise on Taiji, not on Taiji, on Haochuan. Taiji, by the way, didn't exist before the late 1800s. The name Taiji didn't exist. It was invented by Wu Qianquan because he thought it was the supreme ultimate boxing. So he changed the name from Haochuan, which is simply loose boxing. So what we're all doing in Taiji in particular is loose boxing. It's not Taiji. If you said to Yang Lu Chan, the man who invented all this stuff, I practice your art, Taiji Chuan, he would say, what? What is that? It's Haochuan. So if accessing this, oh yeah, that's right, the treatise. So I gained a copy of this treatise through nefarious means, and I took it home, and I started at that time I was translating Chinese pages myself, and in the first 2 pages, no less than 11 times it was mentioned the vertical backbone, and not even vertical, it means plumb, which means each vertebra must fall on top of each other, like if you have a pipe, and then if you take a chain and hold it up and drop it, it just falls on the ground. You put it in a pipe and put the chain in there, let it drop, and each link falls on top of each other, and it just stays there, perfectly relaxed, just being held there. And that's what we must do to our own spine in order to access the immense power that your backbone has. You'll never be able to move someone from a distance or have them bounce off you or not be able to attack you. That's impossible. I've tested the world's greatest charlatans at this. These people who literally stand there and someone rushes up and they get to there and he goes like this and the person flies off there. No one has ever been able to move me, even so much as a quarter of an inch, even less, without touching me. It cannot be done. However, it is a huge resource that you have, and you can do some amazing stuff with your own energy. Mainly to do with your subconscious, and as I said before, to change the circumstances in which you would find yourself. I always call myself the one who flew over the cuckoo's nest, because there's not many people from my little coal mining village ever got out. I started my Taiji and things started to change. Taiji and my Qigong. Taiji, by the way, is the highest level of Qigong. That's what it is. It's purely and simply, it's Qigong. Moving Qigong is your highest level. So now I find myself here, fairly well known throughout the world, and I will put it all down to the training that I did. I was a relatively famous rock star, but that didn't last. But my Taiji and my other training has lasted. So that's obviously what I was meant to do right at the start. So we have these resources in your body that we can access.